Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thanksgiving edition of One on One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie TV. Look, we're very excited. We got 3 games today, so we're coming a little bit early today. We're coming at 11:30 to bring you One on One as we've got a full day of Thanksgiving, and want to just say Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, but we're not going to hold up too long because y'all got football and food to get into. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. One on One, episode 150. Episode 150 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and airing on Bowie TV.
One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Episode 150 of One on One here on the Legacy Makers Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie Television. Now, as a disclaimer, this will be airing at 6:00 tonight on Bowie Television. But hopefully by that time, I will be 2-0 in my pick'ems for the week, but we'll see how that goes as well. But we got a lot to get into. It's episode 150. It's a milestone here. We're 50 away from 200. It's been an absolute ride here on One on One, so I'm very excited for that. But let's go ahead and get into it. We've got a lot to get into with 3 Thanksgiving Day games today, and so we got Lions and Bears right after this, pretty much. Then you got Cowboys and Giants, and then you got Packers and Dolphins to finish it up. So with 3 games on the slate, let's go ahead and start off with the bottom. Who is in the bottom this week? Well, it's pretty much the same from last week. Different bottom team, and that is the New York Football Giants. The Giants are 2-9 on the season, and they got that's a nice way to put this. They really just had a really bad week. You know, they continue to just struggle on so many different levels. They never looked like they competed at all in that game against Tampa Bay, and it's just a dumpster fire. This team continues to struggle. You know, Tommy DeVito comes in and 20 for 31, 189 yards. It's just not enough. And the Bucs are starting to get a little bit healthy. They get Mike Evans back. Still no Chris Godwin. He's gone for the season. But this Giants team is just a disaster. And a couple weeks ago, I felt like they had a chance to really make some type of noise, and it's just not happening. So, and what I mean by noise is really just being competitive, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But with Malik Neighbors being upset after the game, there's just a whole bunch of different element pieces to this that just haven't quite, been figured out. But the Giants are at 32. At 31, the Oakland Raiders. That's right, because they're playing so bad, they might as well be the Oakland Raiders. The Vegas Raiders right now, another team that's just been absolutely terrible. But they actually competed in this game against the Broncos, only losing 29-19, but it just still wasn't enough. They're another team that's at disarray at quarterback. Minshew went 25-42, 230, and a touchdown and a pick. It's just they need more. And I really still do like Antonio Pierce as a coach. I just don't think he has the talent right now to be where they want to be. So Mark Davis has got to figure some things out there in Vegas. Maybe they'll figure it out soon. At 30, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars were on a bye last week, so we don't have to get to yell at them this week. But they're also a team that still trying to find their way. It's a little too late in the season, but can they get back on track? Who knows? At 29, the New York Football Jets, another team that was on a bye. Their week has just been a whole bunch of controversy with Aaron Rodgers and trying to figure out if, Aaron Rodgers is going to be there next year, or what the next step is, if their owner is going to be a part of the Trump administration again, which it seems like he is going to be as an ambassador. There's a lot going on with the Jets, especially on a bye week. But, who knows? Maybe they'll figure it out this week. The Jets will have to take on the Seahawks, and it's a winnable game, but the way they've been playing, maybe not so winnable. Jets are at 29. At 28, the New England Patriots. The Patriots lost 34-15 to the Dolphins, and it was one of those games where the talent on both sides definitely got highlighted. And what I mean by that is the Dolphins are ultra talented. Yes, their record doesn't show it, but that's with Tua being hurt. But you see the difference of a team once Tua is going and flowing. And that's just pretty much what happened in this one. I think the New England still they need pieces. They're another team that just need pieces. They're young. And so Drake May's not playing bad football, but they're going to have to get some pieces around him if they want to continue to grow that thing in New England. At 27, the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers gave the defending champs everything they could handle in that 30-27 loss to the Chiefs. I really thought they might have pulled it off at one point. Bryce Young is playing better football. That is probably the biggest thing that if you're a Carolina Panther fan, you have to at least be able to smile about. He is playing better football. It's not over the top better, but it's way better than what it was. And so, I'm hoping the best for him. I'm hoping that they can figure it out there. But that's another team that I think will sneak a couple games, maybe 2 more games for the end of the season somewhere, somehow. I said this at the beginning of the season. I didn't think Carolina was going to be like the best team in the league, but I thought they would sneak a couple people. So, that Chiefs game was almost one of them. They almost snuck. So we'll see how that goes. Carolina's at 27. At 26, the Houston Texans. The Tennessee Titans. The Titans get a win over the Texans, 32-27. And, the Titans have struggled all year. Another team that's had some rough goes. But whenever there is a team that, that is kind of like trying to figure it out, and it's a division game, you got to be careful. We've seen that a couple times this past week. And so the Titans were able to get the win over the Texans. Texans fall to 7-5, and, they're struggling this year, but yet they still have quite the lead in that division. So, they just got to watch out for the Colts. The Colts is probably going to be their biggest nemesis in that division. At 25, the Cleveland Browns getting a nice win in the snow globe game, as they're starting to call it, against Pittsburgh in Cleveland, 24-19. It was a great game. Myles Garrett had a great day, 3 sacks. Jameis Winston had 18 for 27, 219, and a rushing touchdown. Chubb had 2 touchdowns in the game. Jerry Jeudy's continuing to play well with Jameis Winston being the QB. He's had a really good stretch here. So shout out to Jeudy. He's been great on my fantasy team, by the way, as well. So shout out to him. But Cleveland's at 25, nice win. And here's the thing. In the AFC, they're still not out of it. They've got to win a lot of games, but they're not out of it just yet. At 24, the Chicago Bears. Chicago loses games, and you just said, wow. They fought back against the Vikings. They had a chance to win it. They go into overtime, go through. I think they went 3 and out in overtime. I could be wrong on that. And then Sam Darnold leads his team on a game-winning drive to win 30-27. And they almost blew this lead. And they almost lost this lead. And Chicago scored 17 points in the 4th just to get them into overtime, and then they just weren't able to pull it off. So Chicago's still trying to find their way. They'll have a lot of questions to answer as we get closer to the offseason. At 23, the Dallas Cowboys getting a win over the Commanders, 34-26. It was an ugly game, y'all. From beginning to end, watching there, being there was just Dallas. There was 3-3 at halftime, and then Dallas and Washington decided to go on this outburst in the 4th. Both teams, they scored 41 points in the 4th quarter. It was dramatic. There was missed field goals, blocked field goals, blocked punts, sacks, you name it. It almost happened in this game. 2 interceptions by Jaden Daniels, which hasn't happened all year. He kind of went back to his style with running. Terry McLaurin had a touchdown, big 86-yard touchdown run. CD had a solid day. Rico Dowell had a solid day. Cooper Rush had a good day. It was weird, but Dallas wins the game. And I haven't heard Dallas fans on my timeline all season, but them suckers were chirping. They were chirping this last game. So shout out to Dallas. Congratulations on the win. 22, the New Orleans Saints, they were on a bye this week. They're sitting at 22, and at 21, the Bengals, they were also on a bye this week. There are 21 teams. So here it is. Bottom: Giants, Raiders, Jaguars, Jets, Patriots, Panthers, Titans, Browns, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, and the Cincinnati Bengals. So the bottom is the bottom. There's some teams that still have a shot at the playoffs. We'll see if that even happens, but it's still, we're not going to say early in the season because we're midway through at Thanksgiving time, but there's a lot that still could happen. So we'll see. But let's go to the outside looking in. Outside looking in. At number 20, the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are at 20. They really didn't compete against the Lions. The Lions seem like they dialed it back a little bit. But this Colts team is still technically in contention in the AFC South. They're only 2 games back. Technically, maybe it's 4 games because of, I don't know. But they're at the technical part, they're 2 games back. So they still got a chance to try to figure some things out. But they're a team that is just kind of in the middle, in the rut. That's why they're on the outside looking in. Colts are at 20. At 19, the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco loses to the Packers 38-10. Now, Packers, as a Packer enthusiast, it was a very if you're a Packers fan, you're very happy. As an enthusiast, I was happy to see it happen. But if you're a Packers fan, this is false thing, especially the way San Francisco has beat up on the Packers or found ways to beat the Packers in the last 5 or 6 years or probably 15 years. This game to me meant not as much as a lot of people think it should have meant. It was a nice win. It was against San Francisco, but they were hurt. They were down, and they're not the same team when no Purdy. They didn't have no Nick Bosa, so the different elements weren't there. But hey, the win is a win for the Packers. San Francisco is still in the mix in the NFC West, but it's starting to get a little weird in that conference. And then, as you can see, everybody in the NFC West is in the outside looking in currently because it's like 1 game out for each person. Anybody still can win. This division is going to be a dogfight until the very end, until week 18. At 18, the Rams, they lost 37-20 to the Eagles. That was ugly. I picked them. I just thought they had a chance to sneak them, but I should have known better. They lose in that one. Saquon Barkley goes off against them, and the rest is history. At 17, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're back on the winning column, winning 30-7 over the Giants. Baker Mayfield and the crew slowly getting back in it. They're still in the mix in the AFC South. They're only technically about a game back on the Falcons, but watch out because the Buccaneers are coming. At 16, the Miami Dolphins, another team that if you're the Denver Broncos, who's currently the 7th seed in the AFC, watch out for the Dolphins because if they get hot, they're going to sneak into the playoffs. They're starting to play better football. Nobody's really talking about them, so watch out for Miami. At 15, the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona loses a tough one to the Seahawks 16-6, but that's another example of this NFC West. Anybody can win, and it's really a toss-up. You need to flip a coin if you're picking who you think is going to win those games because that's how it's been all season. It's going to be a dogfight. It's just going to be a dogfight. At 14, the Atlanta Falcons coming off the bye, they need a win. They need a win to kind of get themselves in the right place, if I should say. I think you want to win the next one. You got to kind of keep that distance away from the Buccaneers. But the Falcons are a team that they got the talent to win, but will it be enough? The Bucs have won the NFC South the last 3 years. They're looking to make it a 4th. At 13, the Seahawks, they barely have the lead right now after defeating the Cardinals in the NFC West. Like I said, dogfight. Just keep watching out for what's going to go on there. They got an interesting matchup against the Jets this week. At 12, the Washington Commanders. There's a song that comes to mind when I think about the Washington Commanders. And I don't know if we can do this, but Free Falling. Look, I love this team. I love Dan Quinn. I love everything that they've got going on overall as a franchise, but they've got to find a way to stop the bleeding. 3 straight losses, and 2 of them I can say, okay, yeah, this third one, this one that happened this past week against Dallas, that's a division matchup, but you just got to find a way to win these games. And that's the struggle part right now. That's the struggle part for Washington. They've got to figure those things out. They got Tennessee this week. Tennessee starting to play a little bit better football, so you can't look past them, but they need this win before heading to the back because another loss will put them in danger and have teams like the Falcons or the Bucs, depending on where they land, or the 49ers, teams like that are right on that outside looking into the playoffs, looking at them. So watch out, Washington. They're at 12. At 11, we've got the Houston Texans, 7-5. They lose to the Titans. And that division closes up a little bit more, but the Texans are another team like Washington that got to try to figure things out, and it's looking a little rough right now. So here it is, the outside looking in: Colts, 49ers, Rams, Bucks. What's that other team? Dolphins, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks, Commanders, and the Houston Texans. All right, let's go ahead and knock into the top 10 and find out who is number one this week. All right, so here we go. Top 10. At number 10, for the first time, we'll say they were in there last year at one point when Russell was there because they had him cooking a little bit. But back in the top 10, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have played good football this year. Bo Nix, shout out to Bo Nix. They win 29-19 over the Raiders, but shout out to Bo Nix. They're playing good football. Things are not too bad, and they hold the final playoff spot right now. And Sean Payton has his team looking pretty good. So shout out to the Broncos. At number 9, the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, losing to the Ravens on Monday Night Football in the Harbaugh Bowl. And the Ravens are at 8. Both teams kind of needed to win, but both teams are still currently in the playoffs. All they did was flip spots in the playoffs, which we'll go over a little bit later. And it was a good, solid game, but Lamar Jackson does Lamar Jackson things, and Chargers just couldn't keep up. So Chargers at 9, Ravens at 8. At 7, Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off their first loss in quite a bit. They were on a 4-game, I could be wrong on that, maybe 4 or 5-game winning streak before the loss to Cleveland. We have them at 7 right now, but I think they'll be able to bounce back here soon. At 6, the Green Bay Packers. Coming off of, the win in Chicago, they get this win against San Francisco. They play tonight against the Dolphins. That should be a fun one. And it's a critical matchup. You want to win these games against tougher teams. See if the Packers will be able to do that tonight. At number 5, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 9-2, still, chugging right along, getting the wins when they need them. They're at number 5. At number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles, probably low-key the hottest team in football. Well, let me not say that. They're probably the most underrated. Is not it neither. No one's really paying attention to them right now, other than Saquon Barkley. I don't think people think they have a legitimate threat right now to the Lions, but you better watch out because they're on the move. At 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. They win this week over Carolina, but it was a tight one. They had to pull all the stops on that one. At number 2, the Buffalo Bills. They had a bye this past week. And at number 1, for the second straight week, the Detroit Lions. They are 10-1. So here it is, the top 10: Broncos, Chargers, Ravens, Steelers, Packers, Vikings, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, and the Detroit Lions for another week are the number 1 team in our power ranking. All right, we're about to finish this bad boy up. It is time for the finale here on One on One. All right, so finale time. And, of course, we start off the finale with Kings of the Gridiron. Who are the Kings of the Gridiron for Week 12 of the NFL season? Let's find out.
Let's get ready to rumble. Who won't war in the ring? Who won't war with the king? Bring all the balls you can bring. It ain't gonna cost you a thing. You ain't bring the sauce to the ring. You wasn't the sauce in the ring.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Darrell Owens, and this is another edition of Kings of the Gridiron. This one for Week 12 of the NFL season. And this week we got 2 guys who are stars in the NFL grabbing those honors for Kings of the Gridiron. On the offensive side of the ball, this gentleman has won it for the second time this season. That's Mr. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley went to LA and went off. 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 37-20 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Right now, Saquon Barkley is at another level. He is really making a strong case to be the MVP this season. Now, we know running backs don't get the love they deserve, but that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But right now, Saquon Barkley and this Philadelphia Eagles team is on fire. They're 9-2. They're in first place in the NFC East, and they are cooking. They've got a 4-game lead, essentially a 4-game lead over the Washington Commanders. They're in cruise control, and can they finish up and maybe even catch the Lions? We shall see. Saquon Barkley, offensive king of the gridiron. On the defensive side of the ball, we head to the snow globe, which was the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers game from last Thursday. And man, Myles Garrett had himself a day. Myles Garrett, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble in a 24-19 victory over Pittsburgh, handing Russell Wilson his first loss as the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. And it's something about this Browns team where you think to yourself, man, if they can just find a way to get things cooking, who knows? But you got to love Jameis Winston. You got to love Myles Garrett and this Cleveland Browns team. Maybe they can make a baby run here before the end of the season. Who knows? But there it is, our Kings of the Gridiron for Week 12. Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 37-20 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. And Myles Garrett, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and a 24-19 victory over Pittsburgh. We'll see who will be our Kings of the Gridiron for Week 13 next week. Until then, peace. All right, so there they are, Kings of the Gridiron, Saquon Barkley, Myles Garrett. Congratulations. Saquon gets his second King of the Gridiron this season, his second overall, and then Myles Garrett gets his first, so congratulations to both. But they have been absolutely amazing. They're superstars in this league. Now, Garrett maybe not getting the love he needs this year because of everything that's going on in Cleveland, but, hey, shout out to both of them. Being our Kings of the Gridiron for Week 12. Who's going to get it this week? It should be an interesting week. Now, MVP race to me stays the same. Now, there's a strong chance that I may have put Barkley up a little higher, but I think Derrick Henry has done it a little bit differently so far this year, even though Saquon's right now kind of cooking. He's cooking. But I still got Goff as the MVP. The way the Lions are playing, he's my MVP right now. Allen at number 2, Jackson at 3, Henry at 4, and Saquon Barkley at 5. Those are my MVP candidates currently. And now let's head to our playoff scenarios. They changed a little bit, a couple of flips. On the AFC side, the Chiefs are still number 1. They've had it pretty much the entire season. The Bills at 2, they would take on the Broncos at the playoff start of the day. The number 3 team, the Steelers, would take on the Chargers. Last week, that was Steelers and Ravens, but with the win over the Baltimore win over the Chargers flipped them. And so it would be Houston heading to Baltimore. Baltimore heading to Houston on the 4-5 matchup. In the NFC, same dream. The Lions have had this spot all year. They've got the Eagles on their heels. One false move by the Lions. You never know what could happen. The Eagles do have the Ravens this week. That should be a fun one. And so I will see the Lions at number 1. The Eagles would take on the Commanders. So the Commanders would have to head back to Philly and try to pull off a victory if they wanted to do some good stuff there. At the 3-6 matchup, the Seahawks would have to take on the Packers. The Seahawks able to grab the lead away from the Cardinals after their win this past week. So that matchup has too much history. I don't know if I want to see it or not. At number 4, we got the Kirk Cousins Bowl. And the Falcons would take on the Vikings at the playoffs started today. Now, heading to the Pick'ems, your boy out here giving them the business, baby. Been on a hot streak, 107-72. Went 10-4 last week. Week before last. That says week 11 twice. But as week 12, I went 9-4 this past week. So the 4-loss thing has been a thing. I got to get past that. I need to get this week. I need a 16-0 week, man. I'm trying to take that lead, baby. But I digress. We'll see. Then our experts of the week, Lamont and Jay. Lamont 11-2. And Lamont picked up his 5th Lone Ranger. For those who don't know, Lone Ranger is the only expert to pick a team to win. and they get the win. Lamont has 5 this season, and everybody else that has a win has 1. So Lamont, shout out to him. Another great week for Lamont. Even though he's in last place in the division, poor guy. He's in last place in the division, but Lamont's still doing his thing when it comes to those Lone Ranger victories. Cody at the top takes the lead away from James, 119 to 118. There's a good mix there, but you see your boy, 107. Victor, I'm right behind you, brother. I'm coming to take the spot. And then Jay has the lead in the All-Star division, 117 wins. He got a 5-game lead over last year's All-Star division winner, Russ. So watch out. Russ has got to have to figure something out here if he wants to try to stop Jay from winning the division. Playoffs, if they started right now in the Pick'ems League, you got your boy Cody at the top, leader of the Legends division by 1 over James. Last week, James had the spot. Jay is the number 2 seed, the All-Star division leader. And then right now, if the playoffs started today, which we got a couple weeks to go, that's week 16, Russ would take on Joey and James would take on Victor. But Victor, I'm telling you now, brother, I'm coming for your spot. Watch out for your guy because I'm coming for the victory. And then today's games, this is how I see it playing out. I got the Lions defeating the Bears 31-20. I got the Cowboys beating the Giants 27-10. Watch out for Cooper Rush in this game. I think he is going to have a really good day. Really good day. And then the Packers beating the Dolphins 34-30. This could completely be the opposite way, but I know the Packers have a good chance against the Dolphins. The last time they played, the Packers were able to win a couple years ago. The only one thing that I think the Packers have in their favor, the cold weather. The Dolphins do not play well in cold weather, and we'll see how cold it'll be in Green Bay tonight. Now, here are my picks for the week. Now, I got a couple of slip-ups in here, so we'll see if I can, shock some people this week, but we'll see. We got Lions, Cowboys, Packers, Chiefs, who are playing tomorrow for the Black Friday game against the Raiders. Then I got Commanders, Colts, Bengals, Falcons, Jets, Texans, Vikings, Bucks, Saints, Ravens, Bills, and the Denver Broncos. And that Broncos-Browns game was a really hard one to pick. It was a really hard one to pick because I thought, all right, look, if we're really thinking about this, the last time I got on the Browns train, they disappointed me the next week against the Saints. So that's why I held off. And if they win, so be it. If they don't, so be it. So we'll see how it goes. But once again, everybody, that is it for episode 150 of One-on-One here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and airing on the Amazing Bowie Television. I just want to thank you all for tuning in for 150 episodes. So when I started it 5 years ago, I didn't know that, we get to 150, but they've been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing these. And, I just appreciate those who do listen and tune in and think that my opinion means anything, because for the most part, it really it really doesn't. No, but I'm joking, y'all. Look, thank you all. Y'all have a merry, merry Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, merry Thanksgiving. I hope you eat all the turkey, all the cranberry. And if you're vegan and you like, greens, and by all means, just enjoy Turkey Day, y'all. Enjoy the games, enjoy football, enjoy the NFL this week, enjoy college because it's a big rivalry week. Enjoy football in general. We'll see you back next week for episode 151 and week 14 of the NFL season. Until then, this has been One-on-One with Darrell Owens. We'll see you all next time.
One, 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 one. One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof.